I just got out of a yoga class and I started listening to the beginning of a book called Radical Honesty, and I'm gonna give it a shot and see how it goes, but it could be great and it could not be. But the opening said this, and I really loved it. The opening from the author said that he had come across something along the lines of anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. And it's a spin off of another phrase, right? But that feeling is like there's so much liberty and like space and breathing room inside of that saying. And I'm just reflecting on the lifetime that I have lived of like bottling up my emotions, and I'm like so good at it. I'm so skilled at it. And then when I stopped being good at it, it has been a bit of a reckoning, I think, of how damaging that tool has been for me, or will continue to be if I like keep it up. And so it's been several years, many years. It's been since my 37th birthday, and I just had my 45th birthday. So it's been 8 years. It's been exactly 8 years. I had my very first of only a few. I think I've had a total of like 3 notable anxiety attacks in my life, period. And the first one was on my 37th birthday. And the second one was some months after that when I broke up with a friend. And then, so maybe there's like 4, and then it happened again several months later, and then again maybe like a year after that. And the feeling is like that I had after that first anxiety attack, which I have a lot of clarity about what I think anxiety is, at least for me. And I think for it not plaguing my life, so I have to say, like, I've known a lot of people throughout my entire life that have been debilitated by anxiety and that experience anxiety most of the time, and that suffer from having regular anxiety and panic attacks. So that's not my story, and I need to lead with that, because my understanding for myself and what I've witnessed, but mostly this is how I experience it, is anxiety is like a little wake-up call of your body and soul and emotional, energetic body and mind and all of it. It's like you're slightly off course, and by slightly I mean maybe totally off course, but you're off course and like you're not picking up the signs. And I don't mean fairy signs. Like, I think sometimes people think of like, oh, there are these signs like, well, if this is the right decision, make this really drastic, make it drastically visible for me in some outlandish way. And I don't believe that needs to be done. So I know people that do it, and that's great, and it works for them, but I don't believe that is like the way that it needs to be done, because it's like kind of involved. But I think it's just like this constant observation and tuning in and paying attention to where the ease is. Like, where is there ease inside of what you're doing right now? And where are these little tiny sparks? And if you don't get any of that anywhere, then you need to start getting rid of the things that are the lowest hanging fruit for you, that like you need to stop doing. And it might be stop spending your time doing certain things. It might be that you stop hanging out with certain people. It might be that you stop being so negative about something. It might be that you stop kind of compromising on what it is that you're wanting to do for yourself. And so whatever the thing is, but I'm like, I always feel like there's like an addition and a subtraction happening in our life. And I think a lot of people consider subtraction to be the way to make things better. And I think that that can work, but sometimes it's the addition. So sometimes it's, for me, sometimes it's just adding more things that light me up regularly. And sometimes it's eliminating the things that bring me down regularly, or that are not good for my energy, or that I find that I have to like recover from after doing it. And some of those things were just hanging out with certain people that I think have like low vibration energy, and it's really difficult for me to spend time in those spaces, even though I have a lot of like heart love for them, because the energy takes me a while to like regain my own energy. It's like a depletion for me. So it's all of those things. But this idea of like, when I realized shortly after my 37th birthday, like on my birthday, but like what it was that was awry in my life and the decisions I was making, I decided that I needed to start getting, or what I realized was that I was not using my voice, and I wasn't being honest with who I was in the world. And I don't mean like people that knew me were like, whoa, Ronnie's really been like putting on this front about who she is, and now she's this totally different person. It's not that. It's that I accommodated and appeased, this is my like narrative of how I felt like I was in the world. I was accommodating and trying to appease everyone in my life that I cared about and that I loved, or that I cared about their judgment or kind of perception of me. And that was at the expense of my own honesty and integrity. And I just was like, I can't keep doing this. Like, I don't like, 75% of the things that I'm doing in my life right now on the printed page, it looks really good. And like, if someone was gonna observe me, they'd be like, oh, she seems to be doing well and she is happy and things are going really well. But on the inside, it felt like I was losing the ability to find myself. And that was the first anxiety attack. It was like a wake-up call to be like, check in, man. Hey, Rami, check in with yourself for a second. Like, are you sure about all this? Looks good, right? All the things seem to be like going well. How are you doing? I know everyone else around you is enjoying all of the things, but like in your world and your company and how you show up and trying to make sure everyone else is doing well. How are you doing? And when I really started to get honest with myself, I was like, oh, not well. I have neglected all of these things that I love and care about, and I have pushed away these like authentic parts of myself because I understood they were unsafe to share, and that it was difficult for other people and it makes other people uncomfortable, and I don't know how to hold it. How can I have them try to like create space for it? So it was all of that, and I'm going off on a real tangent. Oh, so the idea of anything worth doing is worth doing poorly, it just felt like that's what I've been doing. That's how I felt at the very beginning of this path of unlearning a lot of ways of being in the world that are not going to serve me any longer, and that are maybe not the most honest parts of me, that maybe it's the easiest to fit in with those qualities, but it's not the easiest to be an adult self for the rest of my life with those qualities. So that's kind of the feeling of like, well, I'm gonna start speaking up, and I'm gonna start being honest with people, and I'm gonna start setting some boundaries, and I don't know how to do any of these things. Like, I don't know how to start speaking up. My voice is literally caught in my throat. I don't know how to do it. I'm terrified that if I start speaking up, people are going to leave. I'm scared that if I start speaking up, people are going to have a bad opinion and perception about who I am. I'm scared that if I start speaking up, then people are gonna have hurt feelings around it. Like, it's the last thing I'm wanting to do, is to like do something where I'm aware that there's a possibility that the people that are in my life and that I care about, or that are acquaintances with me or whatever, people in my life that are going to have unsavory feelings about my honesty and like me speaking up more and all of it. So it's just like, and like boundaries, how do you set boundaries? Like, geez, man, I'm just like, how can I accommodate everyone else in their needs? Like, what are my boundaries? This is gonna take some time. Like, I didn't have a choice not to do this, but the feeling I had was like, I don't know how to do it, and there's no time to be wasted now. So I can't like do a bunch of research and figure out how to do it. I just need to start doing it. And the starting to do it was really clumsy, and it wasn't easy, and it felt debilitating at times, and it took me a really long time to recover after everything that I was like, this is what's really going on with me, and I don't want to share time with these people anymore, and I am not compromising myself for a relationship anymore. I am going to say, like, this is who I am, and this is what my needs are, my boundaries, and how I experience our relationship. And if we're not able to find a path so that we can both experience love and calmness, and like are able to support one another inside of the distance between ourselves, which is like, that's what the relationship is. It's the space between two or more things. It's like, then I'm out, and I'm gonna have to fucking grieve what that experience might be. And I am terrified that the people that I love and care about the most are not going to be able to step it up. And not just that they aren't going to be able to step it up, but that they're not going to be willing to step it up for me. And so like, then it brings up all of these like fears of value, my own value, and you know, my worth. And then I'm gonna have to confront the fact that like, there likely will be people that are not gonna want to or be willing to do it, and I'm gonna have to face the like, this makes me feel like I have to look at maybe what I've always felt, which is like, you know, not being valued. And that if my value is not wrapped up in how I'm able to make someone else feel good, and my value is about an intrinsic quality of like me speaking up and being honest about who I am and what my needs are, if those things are not in alignment and people can't do that, then there's a whole level of grief that I am gonna have to confront and process and accept and deal with and make peace with, and all of those things. So the feeling of like, that's what it's been for me for the last 8 years, is these regular cycles of like, where's my growth edge, and like, go and meet your growth edge. And a lot of those growth edges for me has been learning how to speak up. And it's like learning how to speak up without apology, and not in an unkind way. I mean, that's always my hope, but I'm sure it's received sometimes, especially in familial settings as not being kind, but like it's just about my honesty and what my needs are, and kind of if there is tension or undealt with trauma that exists inside of my experience of our relationship, then that kind of needs to be dealt with. It needs to be aired, it needs to be addressed, it needs to be looked at, and there needs to be some sensitivity about what that the experience has been for me all these years in our relationship. And I've wished this for so long. I've wished so many things would just not be how they are. Like, I've just like wished so hard that I'm like, I will operate as if things are the way that I want them to be, and I'll just hold on to that. And that has been like a real superpower. And I think it's led me into being able to arrive at this future self that I am now, that my younger self would be so proud of. But it's not over. It just feels like it's like this, it's a continuum. And so I'm still on it, and I feel way more skilled and way less clumsy than I did, but it's still so fucking difficult and it's emotional, but I don't have to recover forever after it. Like, I feel like I used to have to recover for weeks, and I'd have to go to therapy, and I would never share this stuff with people that, especially family, that I was like gonna go spend time with, and then I would try my best for all the things for me to not talk about hard things and make it easy for people, and to not be sensitive, and to not take things personal, and to just accept what is. And then I was like, I'm not okay with this anymore. I'm losing in every hand. I am losing this game, and it's now impacting my health. And so no, thank you. And so this is what my needs are now. And I am like, there needs to be some space and some clearing up and cleaning up of past stuff that will give a greater possibility of the kind of relationship I am willing to have with other people and myself, but for there to be a greater chance for that to happen. And that's what I think I'm good at, is like continuing to show up to figure out how to do that. If the other person is not willing to step up, I'm out. Like that, there's no other option for me. It's like, this is the option. I will continue to show up and figure this out and to chip away at it. But if you are not willing to show up and support me in this process, I'm out. And that's been really liberating for me. And so this idea of like anything worth doing is worth doing poorly is just like, love it so much. So that's all I've got. Bye.